Alright, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Good Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last episode, we just finished case number 3. It paid off that there were 2 guilty people. And yeah, hopefully we'll see what this next case will be about, as we found out that Kazuma is alive and found out that the serial killer was his dad. And yeah, now we're gonna do episode 4, Twisted Karma and his last spell, so let's get started. Here we go.
ホームズはパイプを手に窓の外に広がる濃い霧を見下ろしていた。この霧の底には一体いくつの事件が隠れているのだろうね。不思議な新聞広告から始まる奇想天外な事件。魔剣が闇をかける連続殺人事件。夜の墓場でよみがえる死刑囚の事件。
Yep, the graveyard.
そして誰も知らない町外れの小部屋のありふれた殺人事件。どんな事件もその裏側には誰も知らない物語が潜んでいる。僕を事件現場へと駆り立てるのはその物語なのだよ、ワトソン。早く帽子を取りたまえ、行こうじゃないか、相棒。僕たちの冒険は終わらない。
The game is afoot.
さあ、ゲームの始まりだ。
Oh no, ignore the background noise, you guys can hear it. 8 days after that earth-shattering trial, and Cosma regaining his memory, we were in the foyer of one of London's most luxurious hotels, the Great Waterloo Hotel. Waterloo? Ooh! November 1st, 10:24 a.m., Great Waterloo Hotel foyer. Professor Mikatoba is due to arrive at any moment. Yes, I'm so glad we got here in time. So Sato-san hasn't been the same since what happened. Yeah, Kazuma. Not that I'm surprised. Truth about Kazuma-sama's father. Yeah. Do you suppose my father knew that he was the actual mass murderer? The professor, you mean? I knew that what Stu was talking about. There's a good chance I'd say, they did come here to London together 16 years ago, didn't they? Yes, that's true. Come to think of it, didn't you say that Professor Mikatoba knew about Kazuma going missing to Hong Kong as well? That's right. But for some reason, he wasn't at liberty to talk to me about it. That probably means he knows then about Kazuma showing up here in London with amnesia, and that he's regained his memory now. Question is, where is he now? Ah, there she is. Oh, father. Oh, Mikatoba.
Hello, Susato. How are you?
Very well, thank you. We're delighted you've arrived safe and sound.
Hello, Mr. Naruhodo. Very kind of you to take the trouble to meet us here.
No, not at all. It's my pleasure.
Heard about your extraordinary exploits here in London, you know. The news has crossed the seas.
It has?
Always look forward to reading the monthly reports that arrive with the same ships from Britain.
I see. Well, thank you very much. Who is this man? Why do I feel I've seen him before? He's the judge.
I take it your expression that you can't quite place me. In that case, how about a little reminder, Seishiro? A firm tap shall do it. Yes.
A firm tap? Nani?
Here we go then. I hereby pronounce the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo,
guilty. No! Oh. Oh, you're... Yes, the judge from the first case.
The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
You're guilty. Your Excellency. Oh, hello, Judge Chijoku. How are you? It's been a long time.
Good you remember now. That really did the trick. Guilty.
It's very scary if you just call me guilty out of nowhere. Only I was declared not guilty, wasn't I? And there was no laughing at the time.
So London again has, after all this time. Hard to believe it's been 10 years. Be honest, I never thought I'd be back. Neither did I. I didn't imagine Japan would be invited to an international symposium like this. Though really, I doubt anyone did, to be honest. It's all thanks to you, isn't it, Seishiro? What are you talking about, Yuji?
Of course, Judge Jijoku. He must complete the set. He's the other man, who 16 years ago came to London with Kazuma's father and Professor Mikotoba. He's the third visiting scholar.
Well, all those passport checks and luggage searches at the border took rather a lot of time. Must say, I'm very anxious of your very ministerial status. You didn't have to go through any of that, did you? Oh, I knew that you were jealous. Oh,
okay. Sorry? Ministerial status?
Ah, yes, didn't you know? Seishiro here is also Japan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It was his personal insistence that allowed you to take Kazuma's place here in the study tour. Guilty as charged!
Okay. Oh, well, thank you very much. He's really every bit as important as he looks.
Ah, yes, now, Naruhodo. I received a telegram from Lord Strongheart yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Appears that some things that came to light in the trial you were involved with 8 days ago. But what happened 10 years ago? That tragedy.
Yeah. Yes, can you tell us any more about it? Does that mean we can explore the area? What? Look at that. It's a picture of the Crystal Tower. Well, the Great Exhibition is one of Great Britain's most prestigious achievements in recent years. I wonder how tall it is. It really does represent the pinnacle of scientific achievement in so many ways. There's a 20-meter tall chimney on the bathhouse near my lodgings at Yume University. The attendant there is always boasting that it's the tallest object in the neighborhood. I'm sure. Did you know that over in the Channel in Paris, there's a tower that's 300 meters tall? Nani? How many times taller than the chimney at Yume Silken Hot Springs is that? If it's that tall, how does it draw properly? The smoke will get stuck, surely. I don't think it's that sort of tower, Mr. Naruhodo. Must be thinking of a different tower, for sure. That desk is known as the hotel reception. Anyone wanting to spend the night has to report there to sign for their stay. Oh, so do you think that's the head clerk behind the desk there? Yes, I'm sure it must be. I'd love to stay in a grand hotel like this for a little while, wouldn't you? Just to know what's it like. If the hotel fee was paid through our stipend, I'm afraid it might bankrupt our homeland. Rich people problems. True, London gives the word expensive a whole new meaning. What else is there? B. Look at those cases just left there on that trolley. Aren't they worried about thieves? I know I am. Haven't you seen the porter over there? Don't worry, he's obviously keeping an eye on everything. Ah, so it's a trap designed to catch any chancers who might be tempted. That guy looks familiar. Why did the porter give me such a scathing look just now, do you suppose? Well, some might say you look a little suspicious with your jet black clothes. Not everyone clad in black is some sort of ninja with intent to steal, you know? Well, I mean, we are wearing a DLC outfit, but either way, let's talk to you. Your journey from Japan. So, how was the voyage here?
Well, 50 days at sea is a long time by anyone's standard. But it was about as bad as when the first 16 years ago. No, that's not true. Then I truly wonder if we wouldn't be drifting in the vast ocean for the rest of our lives. This time we followed the same route as you. So we were able to relax and enjoy the experience.
Ah, so you stopped in France's beautiful capital, Paris?
We did, yes. Only for one night. Following yesterday evening, we left for the port of Dunkirk for Dover. In time for the symposium, in fact. It starts tomorrow.
It's wonderful that you were invited to attend such an important international event. I'm very proud of you, Father.
Oh, it's thanks to Seishiro here. 16 years ago, he managed to integrate himself with the Britain's Attorney General. I'm sure that's why he was invited, and I suppose you could say I'm something more of an appendage by default. Oh, speak for yourself, Eugen. You were close friends with the professor of forensic science at the major hospital. Yes, well, I'd rather not dredge all that up, really. No, there's been a lot of water under the bridge since then, but it doesn't bring him back.
Cosmo's father, I suppose. Tell us about Cosmo's father. The professor, the killer who took the lives of 5 members of the British aristocracy. It was actually Cosmo's father, wasn't he?
That's correct. Genshin Asogi.
What? Genshin Impact? I'm just kidding. Genshin? What? Genshin? You knew, I presume, Father?
Oh, yes, he was a close friend at the time. Genshin, too, came to Britain as a police detective. He was studying investigative techniques at Scotland Yard. I never understood what drove a man to commit such heinous acts.
It was a close trial.
But the public never knew the truth. He was executed with a little ado. And to this day, very few people know what really happened, even in our homeland.
But what about Kazuma? Did he know? Did he know the truth about his father?
No, of course not. He was told his father's passed from sickness. However, I suspect he may have had his doubts.
Oh, why?
As you know, I tried to write Cosmo growing up. Cosmo growing up. As if he were my own son. Then one day, he came to my office at the university and said, I've decided. I wanted to travel to Great Britain to study there.
Huh. Do you think he wanted to come here to investigate his father's death?
I don't know. But when I looked into his eyes, I did know that there was no way I was able to stop him.
Something else came to light in that trial the other day, actually.
Oh, nani?
Well, having disappeared in Hong Kong and been missing for almost a year, Cosmo since turned up here in London, working as an apprentice of Lord Von Zeeks.
Nani? Nani? That's news to us?
So, Lord Strongheart's telegram neglected to mention that part then. Cosmo's reappearance. As you know, we both thought Cosmo had died on the steamship during our voyage to Great Britain in January. But he didn't die, he's alive. As you knew, didn't you, Father?
In actual fact, no. What I did know is that when your ship docked in Hong Kong, he mysteriously vanished. We sent a team of investigators to Hong Kong to try to ascertain what had happened to no avail. But he's still alive, and here in London, you say. I never dared to even dream of it. Why on earth did the young man not make contact? The government and the police have been chasing clues fruitless for months now.
Well, it seems that he was suffering from amnesia.
Nani? Amnesia?
When we first came across him again here in London, he didn't know who either of us were.
I see.
He only regained his memory 8 days ago.
This is unbelievable.
Yes.
It's quite miraculous. Wonder why Lord Strongheart didn't let us know. I must speak with him urgently.
I wonder how Cosmo's been these past few days. Would it be wrong for us to go and visit him? Your time in Britain.
That began 16 years ago now. It's a distant memory, really. It was huge in here, Genshin Asogi, and myself were the original 3. The first judicial scholars from Japan to travel overseas to study. Ocean voyages were not what they are today. I can tell you.
16 years ago, things were tough for their generation.
Your father was an exceptionally fine medical student at the Yuma University at the time, you know, young lady?
Yes, grandmother told me.
You want to do research at a great London hospital to study autopsy. Practically unheard of in Japan. Yes, it was an eerie place, sandwiched between his back of a prison and burial ground.
Not more talk of graves.
Very often, there's no one willing to deal with bodies following autopsy work. So you see, autopsy labs are something of an unavoidable relationship with graveyards and prisons.
Not my cup of tea at all.
Remember that Scottish person governor? Caden, his name was? He was a good man. Oh, yes, but then of course he's in our 6th year here. Everything changed with that dreadful case. When Genshin was arrested for a series of the most gruesome murders. I simply couldn't believe it. I've known the man for years. I was a witness at the secret hearing and I tried to speak in his defense, but you were a little too far and ended up facing the charges yourself, didn't you?
Well,
selfish to say, after that trial we were sent back to Japan. There was nothing more we could do to save Genshin. He was a lost cause, sadly.
I see. Either way.
Well, if you excuse us now. Yes, I would like to get this trunk up to my room as soon as possible.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have held you up here for so long. I'll call for the porter then. Just wait here. Saddle-san's gone off at a run.
I'd like to stay and talk more, but I do have various preparations to make for tomorrow.
Yes, of course. It must be a big responsibility representing our entire country. I wish you the best of luck.
Naruhodo, I hope you keep an eye on Susato for me. Keep looking after her as you obviously have been.
Oh no, I mean, if anyone's looking after anyone, it's her looking after me.
Yeah. Well, I do appreciate you being there for her, after all. I've been a miserable father to her. I've thoroughly let her down.
Sorry? What do you mean? Pepe hens.
Well, it was 16 years ago that I started my long study tour here in Britain, as you know. The very year Susato was born.
Yes, I heard.
The birth of my daughter was the most joyous event of my life, but... well, sadly it was accompanied by the most tragic event of my life, too.
Oh, yes, Susato's son. It did something like that. It was a rather turbulent time at home.
Anyway, I won't bore you with the details. The point is, I became rather less dependable than befits a grown man. It was at then that Satchel offered me the opportunity to study here in Great Britain. I was too worried about you having to leave you behind. So perhaps I was a little heavy-minded when it came to persuading you to accompany me to London. So, that's what happened in a nutshell. That's also the reason why I feel compelled to give my daughter as many opportunities as I dare. Though the world does not really afford young women such things, I must say. I completely understand, Professor. One other thing, Naruhodo. If I may be so bold, I have a favor to ask of you.
Oh, really? Of course, what can I do for you?
Well, the thing is,
Sorry that took so long. No, what was it? No, damn it, no. Mrs. Sato. Now then, allow us to take your bags. Allow me to take your bags.
Well, move if you please, Porter.
Of course, sir.
That machine around your neck, it's a camera, I believe.
Quite right, sir. For five tunes, a lovely photograph to commemorate a wonderful stay at the hotel, sir.
Well, I think given the occasion, we could justify the expense.
Yes, of course.
Aw, that's a nice photo.
Hey, Naro. I like the fact that even though we are wearing DLC outfits, it doesn't affect the photo. I'd like to thank you for coming along with me, Mr. Naruhodo. It's really made Father very happy, I think. Well, I'm pleased then, but we were interrupted before. Professor Mikotomo was about to ask me something. Shall we return to Baker Street then? I expected Iris to have some delicious tea waiting for us. Yes, let's go. I'm getting more and more anxious about Cosmo, though. Perhaps I'll try to meet with Lord Strongheart later and ask after him. So we can go to Lord Chief Justice's office, consultancy. You know what? Let's go to the Chief Justice's office. Why the hell not? Ooh, is that Von Zeeks?
Here's the final draft of the opening address of tomorrow's proceedings. I've supplemented your original with the figures you've asked for from the yard. I see. Excellent work. Thank you. You're welcome, my lord.
What's Lord Von Zeeks doing here? My, there seems to be an awful lot of tension in the air, wouldn't you say? This place is stifling enough as it is. We really don't need any more tension.
Oh, my apologies. I did not notice you coming in.
Okay, sorry guys. My microphone is being a dick right now. I apologize. Oh my god, I hate my microphone.
Your small stature and dark dress make you all but invisible to me.
Oh no! It's entirely my fault for wearing black, I'm sure. From now on, you must dress in white from head to toe wherever you come here. I don't know if that's supposed to be racist or something, but fuck it.
Now then, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, my lord, I'm right here. Kill me now.
Is something wrong? Perhaps it's a little too hot in here for you.
Oh no, not at all. I mean, I've never experienced a room at such perfect temperature.
If you're sure, the beads of sweat carving their way down your face seems to suggest otherwise.
Because of the daggers you're staring at me with, mainly.
You're no doubt aware of my International Forensic Science Symposium begins tomorrow. In fact, your father arrived in London earlier today, I hear, madam.
Oh, yes, that's right, my lord. He's extremely honored to have been invited.
I'll leave the remaining preparations for the meeting room in your capable hands then, Lord Von Zeeks. I will attend at once.
Damn. He gave you a very cold stare as he left, didn't he? I know, but I haven't done anything. Have I?
These past few days, my feet have been barely touched the ground, I must say. My dedicated right hand of many years was recently put out of action in spectacular fashion.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is your left hand still of service? Mr. Naruhodo, she's talking about Dr. Scythe, you dense idiot. Oh.
Oh.
Of course, I did not mean to be rude. I'm terribly sorry about that. I was just,
Fear not, you've done nothing wrong. Dr. Scythe's own wrongdoing precipitated the situation. You needn't concern yourself with it any further.
That would be a lot easier to do if it weren't for the piercing stare you're giving me. Yeah, you kind of took away your aid. So...
Lord Von Zeeks is doing an admirable job of holding the fort. Though disturbingly, his apprentice has been missing since yesterday.
You don't know where he is? Oh, missing. What's become of Kazuma-sama now? Alright. We won't examine the place. It's not that important. Forensic Science Symposium.
Not long ago, a visitor numbers to the Great Exhibition exceeded 30 million.
30 million? Are there even that many people in the world? Yes. There are like billions of people in the world that populate the planet. As a comparison, Mr. Naruhodo, the population of the imperial capital, Tokyo, is 2 million.
I'll be opening the International Forensic Science Symposium in the exhibition's main auditorium. This event has been 2 years in the making, 2 years of preparations and negotiations with other countries.
It sounds like a tremendous achievement. Congratulations.
20th century will see the wholesale adoption of the forensics investigation techniques. Cooperation between policing organizations around the globe will be essential, which is why this landmark first symposium had to be hosted here at the heart of the great British Empire. In order that Scotland Yard to become the new leading investigative organization in the New World.
He's the same as ever, I see. That passion of his is quite something. You're every bit as passionate as your own way, I'm sure, Mr. Naruhodo.
Well, that's convenient. I'm the only person in this country who truly cares about a future that embraces forensic science. It was my intention to become Her Majesty's Attorney General and reform the yard from the ground up. So the disgrace of the forensic investigation team has been a bitter blow to my ambitions.
Forensic investigation team?
I first established a forensic investigation team a year ago, experimentally to start with. With Dr. Scythe at the helm, it was steadily accruing an impressive record of achievement. I was on the verge of changing its name and elevating its status to a full-blown forensic investigation department.
And can you not do that now?
Obviously. Nobody even wants to hear anything about it at the moment. I can't even keep this story out of the papers. 6 million Londoners will be cursing forensic science now. This incident will set back our country's advancement in the field by a good 10 years, I say.
Unintended repercussions of our trial. We simply could not have overlooked what had happened, though.
Of course not. We should all be grateful to you both. Anyway, I'll still reform this country's policy when I become Attorney General. This might delay my plans, but I won't alter them. Nothing will stand in my way.
About Lord Von Zeek's apprentice.
Ah, yes, that came as a surprise to me. I must say that you and he are old friends.
How did he become an apprentice of Lord Von Zeek's in the first place?
Came about 3 months ago. An unidentified Asian man was apprehended by border police. They found him hiding aboard a large goods vessel.
Really? Oh my. So he stowed away to get here?
He had no papers to identify him, no passport. He was suffering from amnesia, too. Other than the fact he was clearly of Eastern descent, there were no clues as to who he was. So I decided to assign him to Lord Von Zeeks. That way I could keep an eye on him.
But then, why the mask?
Well, I didn't want to burden Lord Von Zeeks with tiresome explanations about why he had an Eastern apprentice.
Because it would be so much easier to explain why he was wearing a mask?
Proving you'd be a great help to Lord Von Zeeks. I have high hopes for his future.
By the way, do you know where he's gone?
No idea, but I believe he's left London for the time being.
Oh.
I take it you also didn't know that the man's father was one of our country's most infamous criminals,
Genshin Asogi. Cosmo's father's crimes. What we learned from the trial 8 days ago was a huge shock. Finding out my friend's father was...
yes, Genshin Asogi, Genshin Impact. The professor came to case 10 years ago, caused a great stir here in Britain.
They were such murders and unprecedented, using a ferocious dog as a murder weapon. Hounds of the Baskervilles, probably.
And no one would have believed the culprit was a foreign student invited to study here by the government.
Wait, do you think Holmes knows more about that case? There's no... it has to be, right? He would know more about that case, right?
So the true identity of the killer can be made public then, but it can't be made public now. No one in your country knows it was him, and neither do the citizens of London.
It was a closed case. Main motivation was to avoid aggravating relations between our two nations at the time, I understand.
Correct. However, it has to be noted that there were some supporters of the professor's apparent cause.
Nani? Supporters of a mass murder? But why?
The majority of the man's victims were blind on the aristocracy of the day. Somewhat ironically, their deaths actually benefited society as a whole. Also, a fair few thinkers in London believed anyway.
Right, I see, but it was still murder, wasn't it? It seems very similar, doesn't it? To the idea of the Reaper of the Bailey. Yeah. Well, there's nothing we could really say since we don't have any more. So, I guess we're going to Sholmes' suite, I guess. What the fuck? What was that? A man screaming in a most unflattering way at Sholmes, isn't it? Do you think... Oh no, could it have been Mr. Sholmes? Oh my, I do hope not. I don't want to do it anymore. Who the hell are you people? What the hell?
Mon ami. Stop this disgraceful display.
Well, I guess I'm talking French now. But who are these people? Look at their hair, it's bright red. I think they must be clients of Mr. Sholmes. Alright, you two, you're coming for with me now, down to the clink. Oh, it's Gina! Whoa! I always like voicing Gina. No, not in prison, it's dark and damp, I don't like it.
Oof, the darkness is my friend. I am not scared.
Yeah, we are always scared of the dark.
Oh, shut your mouth, you idiot. I will speak Sikor in Zedok and plan our next dirtiness.
I don't like it. This I don't like. Okay. Well, tough. We'll finish this down at the yard. Now get moving. Bye then, Ginny. Have fun. Oh yeah, thanks Iris, and thanks, you great detective. Well, that was interesting turn of events. Hee Gina makes a fine detective herself, doesn't she? Oh, Susie, Bruno. Oh, Iris, we're home. Well, you find your daddy? Yes, we arrived at the hotel just before he and his friend. Oh, well, that's great news. I hope you get to see my daddy again soon. Yes, of course. Dr. John H. Wilson.
So, Iris, all that remains now is the greatest of problems known to man.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
Before we concern ourselves with that, I believe some tea is in order, don't you, my dear fellows?
Fucking Sholmes.
Is something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo? Do I have a chrome of such like on my face?
Not so much on your face. As on your head, I say. Come along then, everyone. I brewed a lovely special blend, time for tea. Whatever is going on here today?
In that case, let us sit and drink now. I am, in fact, expecting a guest later today.
We don't need to, like, observe the scene. So let's just talk. Your two visitors. Mr. Sholmes, who are two— wait, was that there before? Maybe I should examine. Who are the two gentlemen that were here before?
Oh, just a pair of petty criminals. Nothing of significance. Of course, they have to make a living somehow. And when the mood takes me, I'm willing to turn a blind eye to all matter of infractions.
When the mood takes you? All matter of infractions? I have no idea what that infraction means, but
When such fellows set their eyes on Mr. Herlock Sholmes, well, they when their luck runs out.
oh my, you were the target of a crime, Mr. Sholmes?
I quickly devised a plan to entrap them and deliver them to our young detective ally.
You should have asked Grexy to come too. We could have had an arresting tea party.
I did send word, but no answer was forthcoming. The man is consumably in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's a word for it, I'm sure. Aha, I have it, a bungler, that's the word.
It's a good job he's not here to hear you say that. So, those redheads have been up to no good? I wonder what the men did. Okay, I guess we should explore the scene. This looks like last week's edition. What's that article circled in the red ink there? It's an advertisement column. It says, "To the red-headed league." The red-headed league? What the hell's that? I don't know. I never heard of it before, but...
Is something on my face?
Clearly this has something to do with lively hair. To the red-headed, it seems somewhat suspicious in nature. Check the court record. What the hell is this? Get 4 pounds per week if you are a redhead. The fuck? Is this his way of getting more money? If you are a redhead, you shall get 4 pounds per week. That's not even fucking money. That's just highway robbery. Anyway. Well, what's this? A masked Cosmo wore when he was assigned to Lord Von Zieg's apprentice. When he cast it aside after the trial the other day, I just sort of picked it up. We ought to give it back to him, I suppose. But he has his memory back now, doesn't he? I can't help feeling that he might turn around and tell me coldly to wear it myself. But isn't he your best friend? Yeah, but we haven't seen him in a while though, honestly. Alright, fuck it. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? It looks as though someone circled an advertisement in this paper, Mr. Sholmes.
To the red-haired league. Does that strike you in some way?
I was thinking that just maybe it might be related to your bright red hair.
So, at last you learned to apply my methods to Mr. Naruhodo.
Sorry?
In the first instance, you're quite indispensable observation.
Believe me, I could have not seen that hair with my eyes shut.
So then, allow me to regale you with the details of my latest exploits.
Regale or boast? Alright. First off, let's just get rid of these two first before we talk about that other problem. What was that about the greatest of problems known to man that you mentioned before? Is that another fiendishly intricate case, Mr. Sholmes?
How should I best explain it? Are you aware of the theory of evolution by natural selection by chance?
Yep, natural selection, blah blah blah. Well, I think I've heard talk of it somewhere, possibly. Yeah, I learned this in my freshman year of high school. You don't have to, like, give me what it is. It's a revolutionary scientific theory that was newly proposed 40 years ago now. According to its author, Mr. Darwin, we humans were once apes who lived in the treetops. Yep, Charles Darwin. Wait, nani? We were apes? Yep. Evolution.
Indeed, and from the very moment those apes descended out from the canopia to live as humans, it has been our lot to be at the mercy of the greatest problem known to man.
Our lot? What is this great problem, Mr. Sholmes?
Why? Is it not obvious, my dear madam? The problem of rent.
Is that why you're red-headed? Huh. But did you not receive a rather large sum of money from Madame Two Spells only the other day?
Pshaw! Large sum. One potted herb for Iris and a new motor car for me later, and all of it's quite disappeared.
Why did you buy? Oh my god! How are you to pay rent, Sholmes? Honestly, Hurley, you know you squandered it.
Yes, well, anyways, 2 days ago, I discovered the answer to man's greatest problem for the coming month, at least.
And what was the answer?
Why, there is a substantial clue before your very eyes.
Don't tell me, let me see.
Humans are sorry creatures, unable to see what's in front of their noses. Let me give you some assistance, don't look, but it's observed very closely. There's one particular feature about my person that has changed you should notice in the end, I think.
In the end? So stabbing my eyes from the very beginning of our Is the eyebrows red? I think we might need another clue before we uncover the full answer, Mr. Oh my god, Susato. Thanks for the hint. I'll be tearing my hair out if this charade goes on much longer. The lie you told. Mr. Sholmes, isn't it about time you told us the truth? The hounds of the Baskervilles? Just over a week ago, you said to us.
Now tell you something of first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that.
That case I brought up the SS Buria in January. Kazuma wasn't killed. And you knew he wasn't dead at the time. So what was really going on?
fellow was unconscious for a very long time. If he hadn't regained consciousness when he did, his life would have been in mortal peril. So you knew. Of course, a side effect of Piran comatose state was amnesia, as you know now. It was simply enough task to silence the crew. But how? After they carried him out of the cabin, I assembled them in the lobby area. I made him swear to leave him unconscious and have him unlaid from the ship to Hong Kong as a murdered corpse.
Oh, how horrible.
It was necessary to find some material to persuade the crewmen to keep their word, of course.
But why? Why do it in the first place?
I'll be at liberty to elaborate on due course.
No, tell us now.
But for the time being, we'd like to reassure you. I didn't foresee the subsequent events.
What events?
His disappearance in Hong Kong.
Oh.
I believe I may have made a gross error in judgment. Mr. Sholmes.
We're gonna be vague for a while, aren't we? Anyway, the Red-Headed League. So what is this Red-Headed League, which seems to be the subject of advertisement you circled?
Ah, you noticed in the paper then? Ah, my dear fellow, was going to be the source of this month's new rent payment.
It was? How?
According to the advertisement, the Red-Headed League is a distinguished institution of fellows of unspecified governments. In fact, the only condition for becoming a member is having red hair.
That doesn't surely entirely surprise me. But listen to what the lucky redheads receive once they join. An unconditional salary of £4 a week. Oh my, £4 a week. But why? Why are they paying people for?
That I don't know. No details are given in the advertisement.
But surely every red-headed person in the country would be flocking to join in that case. You're right, Susie. There's no time to lose. I'll put in my application at once. So will I. Just on the off chance. I might be stretching a point, I think. The trouble is, they have a fixed number of members, you see. Oh, I see. So once a certain number of people have joined, no one else can.
But as luck would have it, one member recently passed away.
It wasn't particularly lucky for the redhead in question, I feel, Mr. Sholmes.
So you decided to join in his place. Ah, correct. I mean, look at me. Have you ever seen such a red-headed fellow?
No.
So why? Why did it have to go so wrong?
Nani? What on earth happened?
A blunder, Mr. Naruhodo, though it pains me to admit it.
Your blunder? What did you actually do to your hair, Mr. Sholmes?
I'm glad you asked. Mr. Sato, what you see atop my head is neither dyed nor hairpiece. I changed the color of my hair overnight by the wonders of chemistry.
Chemistry?
I was conducting some research into a method of rejuvenating spent tea leaves. In the course of my work, I stumbled upon a potion that, when taken, turns one's hair a flame-like red.
Dying.
Would you like to try it? It will make every hair on your body perfectly crimson. You mean crimson sin? I'm just kidding.
I think I'll pass. But, Mr. Sholmes, is it quite safe to drink? Surely it's bad for you, isn't it?
Ah, amateurs are always hampered by such fears.
Oh, I should have never doubted you, Mr. Sholmes, you mean to say.
But of course. To earn £4 a week, one must be prepared to turn a blind eye to little danger.
That degree of red signals more than just a little dangerous, surely. Anyway, hurried up to full competence yesterday with this new head of hair. For the park in the Lime Street where the Red-Headed League were interviewing prospective new members. So what went wrong?
The whole park was choked with red-headed folk, like a coaster's orange barrel. I queued for 8 hours, solid. Before at last I reached the front. When the panel of interviewers saw me, they immediately said, "Ah, Mr. Hodok Sholmes, are you in disguise to conduct an investigation?" Oh, feels bad. He was already found out, even despite the red hair. So naturally, I had no choice but to reply. "Shh, don't give me away." After which I could do little else but to turn and leave. Then this morning when I looked into the mirror, irritation stirred within me. So I turned that prayer into the police. Oh dear, what a disaster. For hurling those 2 redheads. Oh, you mean those guests that were here earlier? Oh, I see. And you asked Gina to arrest him. Ding-a-ling-ling. Aha! Here's my guest now, my latest client with money to spend. Oh, I do hope it's an exciting case, Hurley. Remember, Iris, we are at present gripe with the greatest problem known to man. I must be willing to accept any case, no matter how unstimulating, save locating a runaway, of course. Don't spare anyone's feelings, will you? Oh dear, I'm afraid that Hurley can lack a little tact, especially just before the rent is due. Thwack. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, oh please, oh please. Please find my husband, please, he's run away. Huh. Is that the girl from the... woman from the jury? To upset me. I beg your pardon. Oh, never mind, a personal matter, my apologies. What exactly are you trying to say? Hey, Mr. Naruhodo. I didn't say a word, you piece of shit. Fucking Sholmes. Come, my dear madam, be seated. Iris some tea, if you please. Of course. Husband. What's the matter, Mrs. Sato? Oh, it's just that gentlewoman. I feel sure I've seen her somewhere before, yep. Jury. Very recently. Ah, yes, now that you come to mention it. I explained earlier, my name is Evie Vigil. I implore you to take the case, sir. Money is no object. Simply name your figure. Money and wealth are all little consequence to me, madam. Nah, I'm pretty sure money is very important to you right now, Sholmes. Being offered a case to solve its reward is reward enough. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you're the picture of benevolence. Oh, well, of course, make a mental note of your offer, however, for contingent reasons. I'll trust you remember your words also. If I might inquire, sir. This gentleman and lady would be. Oh, me. What I'm about to tell you, I should like to communicate in the strictest confidence, you understand? Ah, these are my friends. I assure you, you may say before this pair anything which you may say to me. Ah, I see. I can vouch for the gentleman personally, after all. He's a hard of hearing. Why did I ever get my hopes up? Alright. Talk to you. Mrs. Vigil. Forgive me for asking, Mrs. Vigil, but have we met somewhere before, quite recently, perhaps? Oh my. Shaw, my dear fellow, what is your intention? Shut up, Sholmes! Not now! Clearly, you have no ability to differentiate the facial features of the English. Sholmes! Not now. If you wish to invite the lady to tea, you must do so in a more gentlemanly fashion. That's not my intention. Is it possible that you're the nice young lawyer from the trial I attended last week? Ah, I knew I recognized her. Jury number 2. To have a man's fate in the palms of one hand. Oh gosh, oh golly, it sends shivers down my spine. I didn't quite recognize her because she was acting so differently now.
It must be very difficult for you as a lawyer, being hard of hearing, I mean. Pardon? Ooh. Oh dear, I'm so sorry. Don't worry if you can't hear. It was frippery, really, nothing more. Now look what you started, Mr. Sholmes. Thank you very much, you piece of shit. Fuck you, Sholmes. Will you be prudent for you to sit quietly in the corner? Yes. Mr. Vigil. Tell us about your husband, madam. Mr. Vigil, my Dally is 40 years of age. I have a photograph here. Vigil. Entirely unremarkable gentleman by appearance, at least. How long you been married? It'll be about 15 years this year. We have a cordial relationship. My husband's income is more than adequate, so we live comfortably. Let me guess, you're only married to him because of money. Because you wanted the money. I mean, that's any woman, basically. As would appear, I need only look at you to know these things. Oh gosh. Your dress is the latest style, your hat clearly regularly groomed over your eyes are animated. In short, you have no inkling as to why your husband might have disappeared, correct? That's right. He's a kind man with a strong sense of loyalty. He rather dotes on me. Which wound to the point of possibility? Which has become embroiled in an incident? Some incident or other? Oh, that is exactly what I fear must have happened. Mr. Sholmes, I'm quite beside myself. My husband's employment's somewhat unusual, you see. What if he's incurred some miscreant's ill will? What exactly is your husband's line of work? He's a warder at the prison. A guard? That is somewhat unusual. Prison warder. Oh, so your husband's a prison warder. That's right, yes. Well, in actual fact, he's the chief warder. Indeed, I see. Well, chief prison warder certainly qualifies as something of a specialist occupation. Yes, it does indeed. My poor husband must prepare those dreadful punishments and see that they're carried out. Dreadful punishments? Does she mean capital punishments? At such times, he must occasionally spend a night or two in a prison dormitory. For that exact extra responsibility, he is remunerated more handsomely than the other warders. Of course, you make no mention of my husband's work to the neighbors. Ah, yes, I do believe your prudence is justified. Tell me, what prison is your husband engaged? Barclay Prison, Mr. Sholmes. Oh, really? Barclay? Oh, a fine establishment. If I'm not mistaken, there's a large cemetery just behind it. Ah, yes, that's correct. The Lowgate Cemetery. Huh? No. Lowgate Cemetery? The very place we were discussing in court. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable, my dear fellow, and yet undeniable. Sorry, Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid you've lost me. Ah, pay no heed. Madam, pay no heed, a private matter. That was one of the prisons used in one of the cases, right? This can't really be a coincidence, can it? So, to the matter of your husband's disappearance, when did you realize he was missing? Please try not to laugh. It was yesterday. I'm sorry, yesterday? That really is recent, laughably so. The truth is, my husband does at times have occasion to spend the night away for his work. It's not at all out of the ordinary for him to return to home at night, but this is different. For him to not making any contact for a whole day, that certainly has never happened before. Oh, my dear Dally, whatever could have happened? My dear Mrs. Vigil, please calm yourself. Now then, have you contacted police? Why, naturally, but sadly, they refuse to listen to my pleas as my husband has been only missing for 1 day. I was asked to wait patiently at home.
In truth, Mrs. Vigil, I concur with the police. However, let us not be hasty. I see no reason why you should not engage my detective powers to track your husband down anyway. Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes. And furthermore, let me assure you, a chance to solve the great problem known to man for another month has no bearing on my decision. I seek only to put a sweet smile on another Londoner's face. That's really all there is to it. Yeah, my eternal gratitude. I shall pay you any sum to care to mention. You seek only to put this sweet's rent to your landlady's purse. That's all there is to it. Thank you for everything you share with us, Mrs. Vigil. I believe you have all the info I need to begin my investigation. Oh, please report me as soon as you good news, sir. Fear not, madam. In a day or two, I shall be contacting you with a heartening report, I'm quite sure. Oh, so soon? How splendid, Mr. Sholmes. Good news should be delivered early, I always say. And if you would be so kind to leave the photograph of your husband in my possession, photograph of Mr. Vigil has been entered into the court record. He looks generic, to be honest. Thank you, now allow me to show you the door. I can't thank you enough, Mr. Sholmes. You've simply been marvelous. Well, that's our case. You know, I take it every time, Hurley. But how do you come with such nonsense? Good news in a day or two? Are you sure? I can't be sure, of course, but I didn't swear on it. I merely gave a good woman some hope. I hope to be able to give her some good news, one might say. After all, the rent must be paid by the end of the day tomorrow. And by that time I successfully relocated Mr. Vigil, we shall be mutually relieved. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Don't look at me with those pleading eyes. Okay. Well, my dear friend, do you hear the details of the case? Yes, my hearing is surprisingly good, actually. Excellent. Now, what did you make of it? Well, I was surprised to learn where her husband worked. At Barclay Prison, I mean. Ah, so you noted that. Of course, especially with the mention of Lowgate Cemetery. Yeah. Lowgate Cemetery is the rear of Barclay Prison, so it was renowned among us students at the university for being haunted by the ghosts of condemned convicts. Barclay Prison is where that notorious man was incarcerated. Professor. Ah, now a warder from the prison has mysteriously disappeared, it would seem. It's all very peculiar. Indeed, but nothing you can't handle, I'm quite certain, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? Roll along to the prison, see what you can glean. Would you? It's the prison governor you won. No doubt the man is equally worried. But, aren't you going to go yourself? Surely you wouldn't need to ask. But I can't possibly be seen out with this hair. Oh, for fuck's sakes. But didn't you go to Lime Street with that hair? That was quite different matter. I leave in your capable hands now. If you excuse me, I'm rather busy. Oh, for fuck's sakes, Sholmes. Well, of course you are. And it does look like we have a new location, which is the Prisoner's Governor office. So, we're gonna end off today's episode on a high note by saving right the hell now. So next time on Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, we're gonna be doing the prison governor's office, I believe. And yeah, I hope to see you guys all next time.